And we are live, back with another rendition of Lilos's Corner Store and the Prove Me Wrong podcast. We got a banger. I'm sorry for no predictions on week 2. I was going to film them Sunday morning, and then my mom was like, yo, I got tickets. And I was like, ooh, okay. So I actually ended up at the Dolphins game. Went with Mike, mom, the whole family. It was great. We lost 35-0, which we will get into later. Still had a great time. It's my first football game at 21. In case you were wondering, football games are definitely better when you're drunk and getting blown out instead of sober. I had a good time. Mikey had a great time. Everybody seemed to have a good time. Let's jump straight into it. We're only doing a week 2 recap. I will have a UFC video coming out later this week for the pay-per-view. New England versus the New York Jets. New England won that game 25-6. Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions, 2 to J.C. Jackson. The New England running game looked real solid. I understand the Jets front 7 is switching pieces in and out due to injury. Tua and Geno Smith are the only rookie quarterbacks in the last 10 years to beat Bill Belichick. Tua last year and Geno Smith in 2013. So this game was never going to look good for Zach Wilson and the Jets anyway. But it is Mac Jones' first win. The New England defense looked great. Hats off to New England and Bill Belichick. Denver versus Jacksonville. Denver won this game 23-13. Jacksonville is trying their best this season, but it is gonna be ugly. They don't have the pieces around them right now to be able to win these types of games. They scored first, drew first blood, had a little bit of momentum, and then all came crashing down in the second half. Trevor Lawrence threw his first 2 games, 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. To put that into perspective, Tom Brady threw 5 touchdowns in the same day that Trevor Lawrence just played in. So, look, I understand Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Trevor Lawrence is definitely not Tom Brady. But it's not looking good for the Rook so far. I do believe he will be able to turn it around. Teddy Bridgewater got high praise from Von Miller, and he is playing well enough. Like, he is getting the job done. Vaughn loves him. That probably means the team loves him. And yeah, good on him. Laviska Shenault left the game early with a shoulder injury. He will not require surgery. That is a good thing. Jacksonville, I'm a Jacksonville guy a little bit. So, no, I don't like anybody getting hurt, period. But I'm glad that the home team is staying healthy at least. Buffalo, 35. Miami, goose egg. Tua got hurt in the first quarter. Buffalo started clicking early, like real early, like started the game early. Didn't really matter who the quarterback was going to be. Miami's offensive line couldn't block anything. They couldn't do anything. This was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible to watch live. Like I said, football game's better tipsy when you're getting blown out. But, yeah. Xavier had his first interception of the season. Last week came up with a fumble recovery. This weekend he's got a interception. Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs, was beautiful. It was like magic to watch. That duo is clearly one of the best in the NFL. And let me stop that before I start crying. San Francisco versus Philadelphia, 17-11. San Francisco squeaks this one out. The defense really held strong against the dynamic Philly offense. Granted, the Philly offense is brand new. It's young. They don't really have the experience together, but it is dynamic considering the amount of playmakers on the offense. Jimmy G played real well. He had 11 rushes for 20 yards and a touchdown. Also went 22 for 30, 189 yards and a touchdown. So that's over 200 all-purpose yards, 2 TDs. Jalen Hurts was more of a running threat than versus this defense. Like he was having more success in the run game, not in the pass game. They tried the Philly special, even tried to make him a wide receiver. that shit got shut down real fast. Yeah. The Rams played Indianapolis. They won 27-24. We actually watched it on Mikey's phone during the Dolphins game. As we were getting blown out, we were like, all right, at least we have something to cheer for. Carson Wentz went down in the fourth. It looked like a pretty bad ankle sprain. They said it was both ankles. I wouldn't even be surprised with the way he got landed on. Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp is proving themselves through 2 weeks to be one of the better duos in the league. The Rams defense bends but doesn't break. A lot of red zone trips, turnovers. They played real well. The only reason it was close is because Indianapolis scored on a botched punt. Happens. Special teams is going to look over that. And special teams, you're the only part of the game that's not allowed to make mistakes at all. Because your mistakes always result in points and something real bad. Las Vegas, 26. Pittsburgh, 17. Derek Carr is really showing out this year. He's having a great year. Henry Ruggs showed his speed. They caught the 70-yard TD bomb. Derek Carr made the joke. Henry Ruggs posted on Instagram. It was like, Derek Carr. Like, it was a picture of them after the touchdown. It said, Derek Carr, I knew you were down there somewhere. And it was like, that's just a testament to Henry Ruggs' speed. TJ Watt left the game early with a groin injury, so it probably made things a lot easier on that offense to operate. The Steelers' defense was not the same. Like I said, Derek Carr and the Raiders are having great success, but did they catch a little tiny bit of a break not having TJ Watt in the game? Absolutely. But Josh Jacobs did not play, so kind of evens out almost. Not really. Steelers' offense is probably the worst in the division. When you look at the division, the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens. The Ravens clearly have the best. The Ravens and Browns clearly have the best offenses in that division. It's close. I'm just in awe of Lamar on Sunday Night Football, to be honest. It's like, what'd you do for me recently? But two of the best offenses. Cincinnati's got a young, dynamic core with Burrow and Chase and Boyd and Mixon. I think those guys are amazing. Chase is proving everyone wrong. And then you got the Steelers. And you got Najee Harris. You got Chase Claypool. I don't consider Juju a top threat, but he has his games. Just like any good receiver. I do think he's a good receiver. But you don't gotta, Ben Roethlisberger is the worst quarterback in the division. That's tough. But it is what it is. I'll take any of the three young guys. Give me any of them. That's just what it is. So, Steelers offense is not looking good. I don't know why I just sat up to you like that. I really had to speak to you from the heart. Sorry, I lost my voice at the game, so I'm still on raspiness. Cincinnati 17 versus Chicago 20. Look, I know I just said a whole lot of shit about Joe Burrow being one of the better quarterbacks in the division, but he just threw 3 interceptions. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It wasn't looking good for him. He played a great defense. He was out for revenge after getting lit up by Matthew Stafford. So this was probably the worst game of his career in the worst situation of his career. He had 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, all on back-to-back drives, all on back-to-back passes. Chicago defense took this win. I do not blame the offense. The offense, after Andy Dalton got hurt, didn't play well with Justin Fields. Justin Fields also doesn't get those reps with those guys. It's all about timing in the NFL. So this is, I'm not surprised, but Chicago still got the win, depending on how Andy Dalton feels. They said he will start if he's healthy, but I would look for Justin Fields to start next week in Chicago. Houston 21 versus Cleveland 31. Nick Chubb had himself a day. He only had 11 rushes for 95 yards and a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor and David Mills. David Mills is the backup. Tyrod Taylor got hurt with a hamstring injury, likely out 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for Tyrod Taylor. He plays very, very good, and then it's just something out of his control. I do think because it's David Mills and not a star quarterback that he will get his job back in 5 weeks. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like if he stays healthy, he's a top 15 quarterback easily. But he can't. So they led a lackluster offense. Didn't really do much after Tyrod got hurt. Baker's having a rough start, but Cleveland is establishing themselves as a running team, and it's working. You know, they put up a lot of points versus KC. They played as well as they could play. KC had I don't even want to get into that right now. But good win on Cleveland. The defense is looking suspect a little bit, but I do feel like it'll work out. New Orleans 7 versus Carolina 26 after an amazing game 1 versus Green Bay. New Orleans officially is introduced to Jameis Winston. They couldn't do anything all game. Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey are a very, 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 very good duo. DJ Moore had a really nice game. I honestly think he's the X. Like, I think he's the better receiver on the team. I think the team knows that. I love DJ Moore. Had 8 receptions, 78 yards, a touchdown. You know, he's definitely... Robbie Anderson's the big play guy. DJ Anderson is like the I-do-it-all guy. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, DJ Moore is the I-do-it-all guy. Love that on him. Good win by Carolina. Minnesota 33, Arizona 34. Minnesota blew this game. Minnesota had the lead the whole time, and then Kyler Murray just did what Kyler Murray does. That dude is a magician. He is a wizard. You're a wizard, Kyler. He is Baby Yoda. He did the celebration. Arizona came back. Minnesota had a chance to win it with a late field goal. Close. I'm pretty sure it was under 40. Maybe even under 30. I don't remember right now. But they blew it. They shanked it. They missed. It's Minnesota. They fall to 0-2. Kyler Murray works his magic. Arizona Cardinals are 2-0. Crazy. Atlanta versus Tampa Bay. Atlanta 25, Tampa Bay 48. Tom threw 5 touchdowns. Atlanta's offense fucking sucks. It's all Matt Ryan's fault. They have no run game, which isn't Matt Ryan's fault, but Matt Ryan's not the answer. Tampa forced 3 interceptions, 2 of them by the same guy. I don't have it written down. I apologize. Tennessee 33 versus Seattle 30. Seattle blew this game, and they had the refs help because a safety should have been called for Tennessee, to get 2 points, which wasn't called. And then also, Julio had both feet down on a touchdown after the instant replay showed that he clearly had both feet down. They called it, and a complete pass. So, Seattle had everything going for them in this game and still blew it. And it was because Derrick Henry had 41 touches. That means between rushes and receptions. For 237 yards and 3 touchdowns. Told y'all to draft him in fantasy. Number 1 overall. I was not tripping. Julio had 123 yards on 6 catches. Got robbed of that touchdown. That sucks. Good on Tennessee to come back. I love that for them. I do think they're one of the better teams in the AFC, so I'm glad to see it. That defense is looking sus, though. Dallas 20 versus the Chargers 17. Look, this was a great game. Great game. Low-scoring game, but a great game if you love football. Cowboys sunk a game winner off Greg the Leg, after last week's shitty performance versus Tampa Bay. Greg the Leg had to get this one back. Won the game for them. Dak is playing his heart out this season. Justin Herbert is real good. That boy is real good. Those 2 teams don't have to worry about their futures. This was a great game. Kansas City versus Baltimore. 35-36 in favor of Baltimore. This was, in my opinion, the game of the year. Kansas City was clicking early. Baltimore, the shootout started in the second quarter. And I tweeted somewhere around the third quarter, there was a read option that Lamar let go. He just let go, running back took it. And I saw the way the defense collapsed. And I said, don't be surprised if Lamar pulls one of these motherfuckers and some magic happens. Or something along the lines. I tweeted it. Follow PMWPod23 on Twitter. Los is _corner_store on Instagram if we're doing shameless plugs. But, yeah. And I tweeted that. And on the next play that they ran a read option, which I think was like 3 plays later, Lamar kept it and got in there for the touchdown. And then after that, yeah, that was the story of the game, is Lamar keeping all the read options. I don't understand how Kansas, just run Lamar. Keep Lamar down. Let the linebackers, let the running back get 3 yards. Stack the box. Do something else. But Lamar's thrashing you. And on a crucial 4th and 1, in their own territory, at the end of the game, to win the game, Lamar Jackson ran it through the line due to a read option. No, it wasn't even a read option. He just snapped the ball straight to himself and ran. And he got that 1 yard. And that's how the Ravens won the game. Lamar Jackson, congratulations for beating your kryptonite. I love that. Kansas City will go back and look at this game, how they scored 5 touchdowns and lost. That's going to be the conversation. Couple bad calls by the ref in that game. I ain't even going to lie to you. Couple bad calls. Refs are going back to their old shit. And it's kind of concerning because I thought we were supposed to be moving the sport forward. But, whatever. Detroit versus Green Bay, 17-35. Green Bay clearly the better team in the second half. Detroit had all the momentum going for them at halftime. They were up 17-14. And Green Bay said, fuck that. And Aaron Rodgers looked like he was finding his groove in the second half. He's not all the way there yet. He did miss some throws that I'm sure he's going to look back on tape. But Aaron Jones had 4 total touchdowns, and that was definitely my player of the game. This was a great game for Monday Night Football. And yeah, Green Bay definitely came out and showed they were the better team in the second half. For sure. For sure. I outscored them 21-0 in the second half. Let's just go over some standings. I want to talk about some shit. In the NFC West, the official standings are San Francisco, Arizona, Los Angeles. In that order, due to division conference bullshit, they're all 2-0. Seattle, 1-1 because they blew it to Tennessee. That whole division could have been undefeated. But Seattle folded. NFC South, Carolina's leading the division at 2-0 because they just beat a divisional rival in New Orleans. Tampa Bay in second place in the division, which means they would be a wild card team at 2-0. New Orleans is 1-1, and Atlanta is 0-2. I did say one team was going to go undefeated, and one team was going to go defeated. Both of my predictions are wrong so far, but it's still possible. Still possible. It's possible by a lot. NFC North, Green Bay, 1-1. Chicago, 1-1. Because Green Bay beat Detroit, they're in the number 1 spot. Minnesota's 0-2. Detroit is 0-2. Due to Detroit's divisional game, they're in last place. NFC West, Washington, Dallas, and Philly are all 1-1, and the Giants are 0-2. Because Washington beat a divisional rival in the Giants, that is why they are in first place. AFC South, Houston, Tennessee, both 1-1. Houston beat Jacksonville in week 1. That's why Houston is the first seed. Indianapolis and Jacksonville, both 0-2. AFC East, Buffalo, 1-1. Miami, 1-1. Buffalo's the number 1 seed due to them just beating us 35-0. New England's 1-1. They just beat the Jets, but even though their first 2 games and our first 2 games were divisional, we have the tiebreaker over them as of this moment because we beat them in week 1. That is why they're in third and we're in second. The Jets are 0-2. They suck, but I do have a good feeling about that team in the future. AFC North, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, all in that order due to divisional matchups, are all 1-1. This might be the most entertaining division in football. AFC West. Ooh, I just lied to your face because the AFC West, Las Vegas is 2-0, Denver's 2-0, Kansas City's 1-1, and Los Angeles is 1-1. And you know Kansas City's not going to lose very many more games. So that's very interesting that they're already at a deficit. So this is going to be one of those divisions to watch. Just looking over this, if I have to give my most entertaining divisions, AFC West, AFC North, NFC West, and NFC South. We go Carolina, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Is more interesting. I'm actually go to the NFC East. Can't even lie, just because it's the NFC East. Washington, Dallas, Philly, they're going to be lighting shit up this year. Thank you to Buddy. He's right here always, forever. Thank you to Mom and Dad. Thank you to Mom for those tickets. It was an awesome game. I had a great time. I appreciate you always. We ain't got no music, but that's the end. So we going to dance out. Ooh, 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 ooh.